Good afternoon, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. We'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me today, I presume that you're innocent of these charges. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office can prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release today, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit of the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be lowered or raised or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. And if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you today. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, I advise that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Christina Shihau. Good morning, good afternoon, ma'am. What's your date of birth?
12/7/91.
All right, Christina, you're here on 2 warrants. Each of them was signed by a judge of merit. In each case, he found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. The bond on those warrants is no bond. I can't change that. In both cases, you'll be back in front of Judge Merritt on the 23rd of July. The public defender will come see you before you go to court, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Marcus Anglin. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
Good afternoon, 11/28/94.
Marcus, I got 2 charges today. I've got an aggravated assault and a domestic battery. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
You can appoint a PD.
I'll appoint the public defender. State what can you tell me?
2010, you got PTI and a petty theft. 2012, grand theft statutory, it's a conviction. No valid. And 2012, 2013, violated his probation on that. (2015) burglary of a dwelling structure or conveyance. 2015 violation of probation. Looks like he went to prison. It's on show, Judge.
All right. And sir, I have an address for you on Raymond Place in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
About 6 months.
All right. And does Mr. Carter live there as well?
Yes, sir.
And do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I have 2 jobs. I work with prime time movers, and I also do construction on the side through Craigslist.
I'm sorry, they split the docket. Okay. All right. On the aggravated assault, I'll set a bond of $1,000. On the battery at $500. Condition of those bonds is that you'll have no contact with Mr. Carter. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. Don't contact him through any social media. Don't go where he lives. Don't go where he works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine having contact, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond will be revoked and you'll be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he gets to make. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. You may tell them it's not interested in pursuing this matter, but that decision belongs solely to the Assistant State Attorney who will be handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case or your lawyer tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I'll have you held today up until 4 p.m. so that if you wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. As far as the home on Raymond Place is concerned, as long as Mr. Carter stays there, you'll have to stay somewhere else until we get this case resolved. You can go by one time to retrieve your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you plan to go. To do that, however, you must contact law enforcement first. They'll meet you there with a deputy who will stand by while you pick up your things and get going where you're going. I'm going to have you back in court on the 23rd of July. Very important that you reach out to the Public Defender's Office when you get out, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Dustin Bolton. Afternoon, Mr. Bolton. What's your date of birth?
Morning, January 5th, 2001.
Mr. Bolton, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'm not sure.
I'll appoint the public defender. State what you tell me.
2015, drop DV. 2018, drop DV. That's the judge.
Dustin, I have an address for you on Shafton Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
About 5 years.
All right. Your sister lives there as well?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a job these days?
I do yard work.
Okay. I set a bond of $500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with your sister. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Also, we'll hold you up until 4 p.m. so if she wants to serve you with an injunction, we know where to find you. Also, as long as she stays at that address on Shafton Road, you'll have to stay somewhere else till this case is resolved. You can go by one time, but you must contact law enforcement first. You will be back in court on the 12th of July. Very important that you reach out to the Public Defender's Office when you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Reginald Claybrook. Good afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
2/12/76.
Reginald, you also have a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There is probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Appoint to a public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
1994, out of New Jersey. It's from that drug conviction, felony. Out of New Jersey, 2002, shown an arrest on aggravated assault, possession of a weapon, false imprisonments. No resolution showing. 1994, out of New York. Intent to obtain transportation without paying, which is a misdemeanor. Not shown, Judge.
And Reginald, I have an address for you on Winthrop Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been there?
2 years, sir.
All right. And you live there with Ebony?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I work for a company called Mostech. It's a home service provider for AT&T.
Okay. And you're Ebony?
Yes.
Would you like to tell me
Sure.
something? Come on up. Ebony's here. I'm going to hear from her, okay? Raise your right hand for me, Ebony. Solemnly swear firm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes,
State your name.
Ebony Claybrook.
All right. Miss Claybrook, how are you related to Reginald here?
He's my husband.
How long have you been married?
5 years.
How long have you known him?
11.
Okay. And normally, now you've been sitting here, so you've seen a few of these. Normally I order folks not to have contact. If you tell me that you'd like to have contact with Reginald, I can do that.
Yes.
All right. You want him to come home today?
Yes.
Are you afraid that he's going to hurt you or harm you in any way?
No.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you to get you to come here today?
No.
Okay. So, Reginald, I'm going to set your bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that if you have contact with Ebony, it must be contact that can be described as peaceful. It is always a crime to touch this woman anyway. She does not want to be touched. It now could be a violation of your conditions of pretrial release to so much as raise your voice. If I hear that you had any contact that can't be described as peaceful, then I would revoke your bond and hold you without bond. Ebony, as far as you're concerned, you can have contact. Like I said, it has to be peaceful. If you contact law enforcement or my office or somebody else and say the contact isn't peaceful, you can be sent back to jail without bond. If something should happen that would make you think you need to call 911, you can call 911. They'll come running just as fast as they ever will, right? All right,
Yes.
Thank you, Ebony.
Thank you.
So Reginald's $500 peaceful contact. I'll have you back in court on July 12th. When you get out, make sure you contact the public defender, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
When Chief Governor?
July 12th.
Bradley Grant. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
2/10/87, sir.
Bradley, I have 2 charges today. Burglary of a vessel and criminal mischief. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
Appoint the PD. State what do you got?
Battery withhold, 2017. Looks like he violated his probation. Out of Minnesota. It's a misdemeanor theft and a failure to appear. And that was last month, it looks like, Judge. Also out of Minnesota, DUI in 2018 and 2019. Out of Wisconsin, paraphernalia in 2006, bail jumping, which is a conviction in 2006, disorderly conduct in 2005, as well as paraphernalia, disorderly conduct in 2006, arrest for child abuse in 2006, which was dropped. All those are from Wisconsin.
So Bradley, I have an address for you on Brellis in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How is it pronounced? What a mess.
Aberrills,
Aberrills. All right. How long you been there?
5 years.
Okay. You got all that history up in Wisconsin and Minnesota in the last, especially Minnesota the last year or so.
Yeah, it was actually a vacation that went bad.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at your misfortune. The prosecutor and I have both had our share of bad times in Wisconsin, so. All right, very good. You working down here?
Yes, I work for R&J Lawn Service.
Okay. And he just recently picked up some charges too, right? Because it says that in the PC. Do you have charges like a few days ago too?
Yeah, actually, this is my second appearance. I got the same charges pretty much.
Yeah,
First time
different
around,
sort of
yeah.
facts, but right, I'm with
Yeah.
you. Did they send those cases to the 23rd of July, do you know?
No, they're supposed to be on the 19th, and then the ones you have are on the 23rd.
Okay.
I was hoping maybe we can set them up.
Wait,
for
I'm
both.
going to do that. So at the jail, can you guys confirm for me that he had circuit court cases that are coming back on the 19th before these?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I'll do, Brad, is set the bond on the burglary at $2,000, on the criminal mischief at $1,000, and I'll move them to the 19th of July, where your other cases are. If you're able to get out, of course, you should contact the PD. Otherwise, I'll come see you at the jail. All right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you. Make my day. Christopher Malara. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
July 19, 1992.
All right, Christopher, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to change the date, Christopher, to July 19th. They told me the 23rd. I'll have you back on the 19th. PD will come see you before then, okay?
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Roger Miller? Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
Afternoon, 5/23/58.
Roger, the charge is petty theft. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
Skipping over the 70s, 80s, and 90s. 2001, an arrest and robbery out of Hillsborough. Take a conviction. Got acquitted of burglary of a conveyance. Uh, 2001 out of Hillsborough. Stealing stolen property, which is an old cross. 2001 out of Hillsborough, cocaine possession and strong arm robbery. Conviction, sentenced to prison. Looks like I got a string of those, Judge. ...2009, out of Tampa, fraudulent use of personal identification. Willis. Conviction. Grand theft with no resolution showing out of Tampa in 2010. 2010, an FTA. 2012, probation violation out of Tampa. Felony Willis. And an FTA in 2016 out of Tampa. Looks like a grand theft. Must be our pending charge, Judge, perhaps?
Yeah, there is a pending charge.
Okay.
A couple days ago, yeah.
That's all I'm showing, Judge.
Roger, I've got an address for you on Ball 4 Circle in Tampa. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
5 years.
You have a job these days?
No, sir.
How long has it been since you worked?
Been on disability since 2010.
Okay. We'll leave your bond at the $500. This one will be coming back on the 12th of July. If you bond out, make sure you contact the PD's office, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Robert Perkins. So, Mr. Perkins, what's your date of birth?
8/21/61, sir.
All right. Sir, the charge is battery is the second or subsequent offense being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'll appoint the PD. And looks like you're currently on misdemeanor probation as well. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. State what else you got.
Skipping the 70s, 80s, and 90s. February 2000. Conspiracy to traffic in cocaine. Looks like it pled down just to cocaine trafficking, which is a conviction. Sentenced to prison. 2009, Willis. 2001, insurance fraud. It's a conviction. As well as uttering a forged. 2001 FTA. 2008 resisting without. 2009 violated his probation. 2011 violated his probation, a DUI and resisting without. 2011 grand theft conviction. 2011 violated his probation. 2014 false imprisonment, which is a conviction. Looks like he did 28 months on that. Resisting with violence in 2014, also a conviction. Looks like he got concurrent time with that. false name to Leo in 2014, DV in 2015, violation of injunction in 2015, which is also a conviction. Reckless driving, pled down from a DUI in 2016. Also resisting without. DV, back in March, conviction for DV. I'm not sure if he's still on probation. Looks like
He is.
okay. I can't confirm his out-of-state stuff, Judge.
Robert, I have an address for you on Purdy Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
Probably about a year.
Okay. You have a job these days?
I own a concrete company.
All right. I'm going to set your bond at $5,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Mary Jo Perkins. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
You understood that?
Absolutely.
All right. Also have to hold you until 4, so she wants to serve you with an injunction. The other information I'll give you is that because you're on probation, it's quite likely in the next day or two, probation will swear out an affidavit for a violation of probation warrant. The bond on that warrant will be no bond. If you spend money getting out on this charge, you're probably going to be out that money when that warrant gets served, but that's up to you. I'll have you back in court on this on July 23rd. If you get out, make sure you contact the public defender's office right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeffrey Whirling. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
I got 22270, sir.
Jeffrey, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Or would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll point the PD. State.
2010, a DUI. Looks like he violated his probation on that. That's all I'm showing, Judge.
And Jeffrey, I have an address for you on Cressida Circle in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, that's my lady friend's home.
Okay. And that's Miss Williams' wife?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
SSI I received.
Set your bond at $500. Condition is that you have no contact with Miss Williams' wife. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it?
Yes, very much.
Very
Yes,
good.
sir.
Also going to hold you until 4 p.m. She wants to serve you with an injunction. We know where to find you. As far as that address goes, of course, you can go by one time to collect your things, but you need to contact law enforcement first. They'll stand by while you get your things and get going where you're going. I'm going to have you back in court on the 12th of July. Very important that when you get out, you contact the public defender's office, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. William Oring. Afternoon, William. What's your date of birth?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. 10/19/1980.
William, I got 2 warrants for you out of Pinellas County. The judge or judges that signed those warrants think you failed to appear and set a bond of $1,013 on each. That's a total of $2,026. I can't change those because they're out of county. If you can post those bonds, you'll get out of jail here, go down to St. Pete, find out when they want you in court. If you can't post them, we'll notify Pinellas County right away. I'll give them 5 days to come get you. Doesn't take 5 with Pinellas, but if for some strange reason you were still here in 5, they'd bring you back to see me and I'd find out what the holdup is, all right?
Okay,
Go ahead.
I spoke to my public defender on Friday. I have one down, Mr. Chinchilla. He's down there. I work out of town, so I didn't get my court date, but I qualified for PTI.
Right.
And they called me and told me to come. You know, they called me on Thursday, told me to come Friday, and I was out of town, so I couldn't. And then that's when they issued another court date. I didn't get my mail in enough time. And that's why the warrant was issued. But when I talked to him on Friday, he said he would talk to the judge and have it rescinded. And he set me a court date for tomorrow at 8:30.
Okay. Well, it didn't get rescinded in time because the warrants are active now. That's why you're standing where you're standing.
Yeah.
So,
I
so
know
I
that.
understand.
But
all
my
that.
court date is tomorrow, I guess.
I can't promise you you're gonna be there tomorrow. That's pretty fast.
Come get you.
Is that another failure to appear then?
Well, yeah, in the scheme of things, yeah, but it doesn't, if everything you say is true, you're never gonna be charged with the crime of fail to appear. This is just a device we use to get you back on the docket, so. If you're PTI eligible, they may still give you PTI when you finally find yourself in front of a Pinellas County judge.
Okay, yeah. I've been in front of her one time before, and then this was just the second time I was supposed to be there.
Right, there's really not much I can do for you other than tell you what it is. It's not a county warrant. I have no jurisdiction over it whatsoever, other than to tell you what it is and what happens next, so. All right, thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Is it possible to get a hold of my public defender? I mean, I don't know.
Well, you certainly have use of the phone. I don't know if the public defender is going to collect calls from the jail or not. My guess would be no. Public defenders as a group are pretty, frugal. But I can't tell you. I don't know. You can try to make the call, that's for sure.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.